Hey, what's up guys? UrAvgWarGamer is back with a video in which I would like to talk about the Waterline 2025 that Wargaming has released as an article for all of us guys to know the future of this game. What they will be doing, the changes related to aircraft carriers and AA, maybe some historical content that they will be adding in the future, and the newer tech tree ship that we might be expecting, maybe some Dockyard ships, maybe some old Dockyard ship that we will be getting back in the future, or maybe in couple of time from now, like maybe a couple of months from now, we will have some more older Dockyard ship that we can have to get them in the port, which is pretty nice. And so they have explained everything in this article, which I will explain. And if you do like the content, please like, share, and subscribe. Let's talk about their goals that they have explained in four parts. First of all, they are testing some mechanics and ships, as well as some other things that we will eventually see that what they have said in the later part of the article. They're also working on PvE content, which is operations, and also working on PvP aspect, which again, they probably have explained it later part of this article. They will put more focus on historical, or I would say, and maybe Navy-based content. Again, that's a pretty nice thing if they have talked about something related to that. And also, finally, we will have some changes to aircraft carrier and AA mechanics. We will eventually see that what they are kind of saying about these things. Okay, so first of all, what they are trying to say that they will be approaching with a new style of doing the changes, or maybe increasing the newer game mechanics in the World of Warship itself by just coming up with the time limited content that will arrive between the update 14.2 till the update 14.7. So what they are saying that the idea is to introduce time limited content that will evolve over several updates before being removed. This allows us to rotate mechanics and remove those that don't pass the test of time. So again, they're trying to test the mechanics. If they don't work, they will remove it, but it will be sort of a long-term goal for them, and they will be testing out those mechanics for a longer duration of many updates, which in this case going to be from the update 14.2 all the way to the update 14.7. With that said, they have explained some of the newer game mechanics that they might be adding in the future. Okay, so the first thing that they are talking about in this Waterline is the classified document that we have seen in the D-Day operations. I mean, a couple of months ago, we have some sort of mechanics in the form of classified documents that can give you some buffs related to the ship itself. You can buff your ship according to what you like for that particular ship, or maybe for that particular playstyle, and they are trying to implement it now from the D-Day operations now to the random battle. So we will be having something with the classified documents mechanic in the random battles, which I would say is very interesting. I mean, and they are also saying that they will be providing bonuses against specific ships. I mean, you can choose that this ship cannot perform better than me. Like, if you feel that that ship is pretty powerful against you, you can simply get the buff against that ship, and it will also gonna be doing, I would say, relatively less damage compared to their full potential. So that is something that classified documents will be doing in the future if they will test it and implement it. In fact, they will be trying to implement this in random battles with starting from 14.2 update, where you can choose the bonuses, some ship buffs that you can do, very small ship buff like you find on maybe the combat signals and flags, sort of those buffs that you can apply against specific ships. Once you have the matchmaking up, once you see the team composition, you will actually may be able to go and click onto the aircraft carrier that I want to sort of having a lot much more potential against aircraft carriers or submarine. I'm quite sure that if you don't like carriers, I think this is a really good thing, because what you can really do is to just kind of make its firepower just very, 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 very little nerfed against you if he attacks you. So I think this is what these documents will do. You will have some bonuses against those specific ships that you have chosen for yourself, which obviously they can also do that in return, because it is for everyone. So as you can see here, they're saying that you will have bonuses against specific ships if you choose them. you will have some sort of buff over them, advantage over them. Just like with the flag that you have slightly bit of advantage over the other, at least in terms of speed, maybe the fire chance or whatever other things. Also, you can perform it in tier 8s and tier 10 ships and super ships. You can also equip them at the start of the battle. They can't be upgraded, and the third slot is available. So so that is what they are saying about the randoms, as well as operation with flagships, as well as for maybe the clan battles, which is kind of insane. We will eventually find out what it would be looking like. But in fact, they have showed you a screenshot in which, as you can see here, you have chosen these ships, I would say. This Kremlin might be enemy team. It might be in the enemy team, the Rigolo, the K1. So you might be having some advantages over them because you have chosen them. You have boosted your combat efficiency against those specific ships. That is pretty interesting, I must say. I mean, as you can see here, this is, I think, the operations with flagships. Again, the same thing. You can do this on operations and in random battles. I don't know what you guys think. What I think is that is kind of ridiculous. Like, I'm quite sure there are a lot of players that might be very, very against the CVs and submarines, and they will just simply choose that single target. and one must be the carrier, right? Because carrier has, I would say, huge advantage over other ship classes right now, currently in the game. So I think that would be interesting for us that just don't like carriers. And even the submarine haters out there, they can also be pretty happy to choose maybe the submarine to have some nerfs against you, or at least like they will not be able to have some advantages over you because you have simply nerfed them by choosing them. So that is pretty insane. But we will eventually find out how it will turn out to be. Again, they are also saying that they will be bringing more PvE content, which is pretty nice. And they have said something about the experimental ships. So they said that the experimental ships, they have tested some experimental ships like Mets, Ryazma, Oregon. They have some special in-game mechanics. You can actually get them until the end of 14.6, and they can participate in all battle types. Okay, so they have 3 experimental ships and also a couple of more like Protector, Hotaka, and Varise. And they have said that you can unlock these ships using credits and a special currency through dedicated missions. Okay, that's pretty interesting. So they have explained something here, like what you might be expecting in the future for the experimental ships. So you will have them, and then they will be removed from the game. All of you guys who will spend the credits, well, you use them as sort of like a ticket to the movie, and you just watch the movie, just like you will be playing these experimental ships in the game, and then once the movie runs out or gets over, they will be returned back from the players. That's pretty interesting, I must say. Well, more interesting things are the tech tree ships. The newer tech tree ships like Hughes, Osborne, Christopher, and Burroughs. Now, these are the newer American destroyers. Yes, they are adding some newest tech tree ships in the game, which includes the new alternate American destroyers, starting from tier 7. Okay, that is pretty nice. If you love American destroyers, I think that would be pretty interesting. Now we will eventually find out that what do they have. Like, they are saying that they will have high damage output and rate of fire. So they will be having insane DPM, for example, like Sherman. And they will also going to have unique smoke mechanic. Damn, what sort of smoke mechanic? We will eventually find out, because they have said that we can't talk about that. That's nice. I mean, if they will have something unique, like a smoke mechanic that never got introduced, that would be, I must say, it's going to be interesting. But what really can be more interesting than the aircraft carrier changes itself? We've been waiting for this. Finally, they have talked about it. I can't believe it. I thought that they will not. Honestly, at this point, I was thinking that when they will be talking about it, many years, or I don't know. But finally, they have talked about it, and they have said a couple of things that they have done changes. They have actually done some changes. But well, they are saying that aircraft will still going to have 3 modes: travel, attack, and recon. And previously, Wargaming has announced the newer aircraft changes last year, like 2024. They have tested them out in August, and now they are again talking about the second iteration, because again, the first iteration that they have said wasn't intuitive enough. So what they are changing, recon mode, which allows you to descend and spot enemies, is going to be simpler and more immersive. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Recon mode, when we were testing, or at least a lot of players were testing, it's a bit complicated. It's going to be very up high in altitude, those planes, and then they have to go below and like they just drop. It's a bit of a very wonky sort of slow mood, recon mood that I just kind of don't like. But they're gonna be changing that. They're also going to be working towards the defensive air fire, which will no longer prevent planes from spotting. Okay, that is pretty interesting. I thought that it was a good move. Like, if there's a cruiser and it wants to prevent himself from getting spotted by aircraft carriers, well, you can just pop defensive air fire. But they are saying that it will no longer happen. I mean, you will still going to get spotted even if you use defensive air fire. Okay, really? A change made after player feedback showed that the mechanic was too complicated. Okay. Priority sector will now cover 360 degrees around the ship and buff AA damage. We will find out how strong the entire air will get if it gets the buff, not only from the 180 degrees, but fully covering around 360 degrees. We will eventually find out. A new consumable, AA consumable in the works. That's going to be very interesting. What will be the new AA consumable? I'm quite sure it will kinda defend in crucial moments, at least that surface ship against CVs. That's what I believe the new consumable might be. I don't know if it's going to be for the carriers or maybe for the ships. I'm assuming it's going to be for carriers. We will find out what it might look like. It will be clearer which planes are dangerous and which are not. Okay, the speedometer will return. They have removed the speedometer previously when they were testing in the first iteration of this CV rework 3.0, whatever you call it. So they will be checking with coming of the speedometer. Okay, that's pretty nice. Getting speedometer is pretty nice. So they have talked about these things, and they're also saying that you will be using your secondaries as main guns. Okay, and fighters and patrol fighters will no longer be able to spot ships. That's a huge thing, man. Secondaries and main guns, kind of needed. I mean, if the spotting gets a bit limited, I think they're kind of buffing the CVs again by just having main guns on top of the planes as well. And then you also have fighters and patrol fighters that are no longer be spotting ships. That sort of a nerf is kind of justified. I would like to see the defensive air fire that should be preventing the planes from spotting, but they kind of disagreeing with that stuff, at least in the second iteration. So the defensive air fire will still gonna spot regardless, which is, I would say, sort of a bummer. But here we are with these changes. Respawn event. They are coming with the respawn event, so the ship will come again and again and again. I cannot believe it how Libertad looks like if we get that ship into the respawn event. Oh my god, that would be insane. Like, actually, a lot of players just love pushing in, pressing the W button. For them, it's gonna be like a heaven, a respawn event. Alright, and we also going to have convoy operations. Okay, so they are saying that they will be adding some variety. We will eventually find out what sort of variety. They are also going to add mastery badges and marks of excellence. What they are saying that if you have played that particular ship really, really good, with very high base XP level compared to the normal players, that will give you some mastery badges and marks of excellence. So, for example, if you are an amazing Shimakaze player, you will have a mastery badge for, or maybe the marks of excellence for that Shimakaze, because you are super good in that ship. That is very nice. I must say, it will give you some sense of honorary achievement and make you feel that you have really good practice on that particular ship, and hence you will get the badge for that. Also, they are saying that they will be adding more customization, special destruction effects that we have seen as a form of Black Friday, as the form of, I would say, New Year's, some unique enemy destruction effects that you can also get, quite a bit of them, in the last year, which is pretty nice. You will be getting them more. I'm okay with that. They will be changing the event pass, which I kind of don't like. They are trying to shift the focus from short to medium to long term goals. For example, you will have an event pass just like the Dockyard that will last 2 to 3 updates. Now, I don't think so. It's going to be a really good idea. I mean, this will kind of make you push into playing this game like crazy, because again, you have invested some money, something on the event pass, and if you are missing out some rewards, I mean, that is pretty insane. If you have missed out some rewards, you will be in sort of a major loss compared to the players that will just fully committed to this event pass till 2 to 3 updates, which is kind of insane. I don't know, guy. I don't know about you guys, but I don't like this thing. Making it very long term with 2 to 3 updates. And remember that they have nerfed the event passes so much over the course of the time. I am feeling that the event pass that has gotten, I would say, nerfed quite hard over the years. They will try to make that unnerf event pass, or I would say, yeah, the event pass, the OG event pass that used to have tons of rewards. They will try to have the same OG rewards, but not in a single event. Rather, they will spread into 2 to 3 updates. That is kind of crazy if you understand what I mean. The OG rewards were available in just a one event pass. And after the nerf, it does not feel like that it is worth it. At least in my opinion. Right now that we don't have really good event pass. But now they are going to be pushing those same rewards, same OG event rewards. Back when it got released, it used to have amazing rewards. Honestly, they were really good. But then they have nerfed it to many times. And what I fear that they will be adding OG rewards from one event that they used to do onto the 2 to 3 updates. And they will sort of justify it with a very good event pass. But they will be asking for more money just for that, which is kind of crazy. So I don't like this. You will find out soon enough that what it will look like. Also, they are introducing some historical content and having some events like the Battle of Java Sea and Battle of Leyte Gulf. They will be bringing more like those things. They will also come up with the Battle of Narvik or Dunkirk. They are in development, and they will come in update 14.3 and 14.4, and they will also going to be introducing the older Dockyard ships like D7 Prevention and ZF6, along with the newest Dockyard ship, that is Blucher, the tier 9 German cruiser, which I think a lot of people might be interested in. So definitely watch out for that. We're also going to have some collaborations in the future and some future stuff, which means that we are going to have a new map. Wow. We're actually going to get the new map? I didn't expect that. It's been a long time since we have seen a new map, and they are now saying that it's in their to-do list for the end of 2025 or early 2026. We will eventually find out what that might look like. They are also going to introduce operations for lower tier ships as a sort of tutorial. I'm 100% on this thing. We need a tutorial for newer players right now in World of Warships. The game mechanics are so complicated at higher tiers. It's a must. And finally, they are thinking of this. Is still better than nothing. Honestly, I was kind of not expecting this thing to happen. I was thinking it may be a couple of years from now, but they are probably going to be doing or implementing that soon enough is good sign. They're also going to be having some lower tier ships balance changes. I don't know, and they will also going to experiment with brawls, some modifiers that will come by in the brawls itself, and they will be also going to give you the opportunities to play the ships that you already have. And they're also going to introduce unique commanders to operations. That is pretty nice. Let's see what this might look like in the future. I think that the changes to the aircraft carriers is a must at this point. Like, the spotting, in my opinion, is kind of a bit too much right now. But I really hope at the same time that they don't mess up with the tons of newer bugs, or maybe tons of, I would say, unfinished business. If they come up with the concept that is just not rushed, which I believe at least that it's not kind of rushed. It's been a long time since we are anticipating changes to aircraft carriers and AA. So it should be polished. It should be in some sort of good state where it actually will balance somewhat carriers in terms of spotting. Hopefully, if they do if they're able to do that, I am very happy player even as a CV main. I don't mind at all because it's very difficult right now for surface ships to deal against aircraft carriers in terms of spotting and the damage that they can do. We will eventually see that what they will be looking like in future. Also, many of the things like mastery badges and marks of excellence is amazing. I kind of like the historical content thing that they will be adding. As something which I would say is a very disappointing thing is going to be the event pass for me, like making it kind of like a dockyard. And I'm 100% sure what they will be doing is they will first make the player fully committed into the dockyard, which will last 2 updates, and then suddenly, just after the dockyard completes, you will have an event pass that will last 2 to 3 updates. So it will just fully suck the juice out of the players, and they want to make players committed like crazy so that they will just don't go anywhere else except to just focus on those rewards that you will be getting at the end of either the end of event pass or at the end of the dockyard. Again, not something that I kind of like. And also they have nerfed so much rewards that I feel that it's gonna be a shit show all over again, I believe. I mean, I don't think so that the rewards will be that impressive. Like, they will simply going to bring OG rewards. When the event pass got introduced into the game, the rewards were very good for a single month of event pass tenure. And they will just simply put those OG rewards that they have nerfed over the years, they will be putting that in the 2 or 3 updates. That's what I believe that they will be doing this in the future for event pass, which is again sort of a red flag. Otherwise, I think many of the things are pretty nice. Respawn event, I said before. Some tech tree ships would be pretty nice. They're also coming up with new large cruisers. They haven't talked about what sort of tech tree nation that we are expecting for cruisers. But this is what this looks like. I hope you get some good information from this video about the Waterline. If you do find it interesting, definitely let me know in the comments. I will be catching you guys maybe in some other news or gameplay. Peace out.